I'm here at Sewell Mountain Cemetery along Sewell Road, which is the old route, 1933, something like that. I just know this is above the coal camp of Sewell, West Virginia, on top of the mountain, so it ain't easy to get to. Of course, you take the dirt road next to Babcock State Park, and you travel a long ways down the dirt road just before the end, and hike a mile or two through the woods to get here. But that little stick I had, I was pointing out rocks versus grave markers I like to point out. Something else I think about, that's how the tombstone got its name, tombstone, because a lot of tombstones nowadays are made out of concrete and different materials, but back in the day they literally would carve into actual stones. You take a rock or a stone and you carve the analogy about the person that passed away. You might have to name the year they was born, the year they died, a little bit about it. So, of course, a lot of old graveyards around here, the cemeteries around here, you have actual stones marking the grave site and there's nothing on the stones. Of course, there was, the way it was worn off, because I see a few stones here and there that you could barely make it out. But I found out that this cemetery dates back to the early 1800s. I'm trying to think of the time period. It's interesting because the coal camp of Sewell, which is at the bottom of the mountain, didn't actually become a coal camp until like the 1870s. But there was a town here, is what I'm trying to say, a long time ago. I forget the name of the town, but somewhere along Sewell Road, somebody's telling me about the town. And I wish I could remember the name of the town. But apparently I did learn on this trip, I learned why I can't find any of the cemeteries and graveyards, and I explored most of the coal mining towns, old mining towns in the New River Gorge. It's because they're literally on top of the mountain. I think most of the towns that was west of Thurman, between, I guess I could say between Thurman and Caperton, the people probably were taking up the mountain to this cemetery, but because it's over 3 acres, at least 3 acres. So I like to research into it. I don't know a huge amount of history here. I know a little bit, but I will be trying to learn more before our next trip here. This is just a bunch of small video clips from different places. But me and G&A Vinces did agree that later in the year, after we get a couple hard freezes and in the fall, and you can actually see better, we're going to go look around again because the bus will be down. There's also supposed to be a Catholic cemetery that not far from here, nearby, so there's two altogether that take up a lot of land up here in the mountains. So it'll be fun to find both of them and explore both of them. At some point we will. Oh, if you're new to my channel, I do have some videos of the coal camp of Sewell. And later in the year, I'll be doing more. That's kind of my trend every year. Oh, there's a grave marker that we stopped and looked at. But 1903 to 1905. But what I'm trying to say, every year I go explore these abandoned mining towns during the off-season, when the trees are due leafed. It's kind of fun to do during the fall, winter months, weather permitting, of course, because if it's miserably cold, I'm not going to be out there hiking to abandoned mining towns. But in recent years, we've had unusually warm. It's like it wants to be in the 50s and 60s during the day and below freezing at night during the winter months instead of like normal winter when you get a lot of snow and cold. We ain't got weather like that lately. I think it's amazing that this cemetery is here on top of the mountain above Sewell, and it's so hard to get to. But at least I know where to go in the wintertime. Well, not in the wintertime, because Berry Mountain Hunting Club does a lot of hunting here, so it'll probably be after Halloween and before Thanksgiving before I explore this. Actually, it might be sooner. Whenever the trees lose their leaves and the brush is down because of the cold weathers, whenever we'll go back and explore this old cemetery. Because then I could find a lot more. Oh, by the way, I didn't get on video, but I did step on a yellow jacket's nest and they came after me and chased me away. It was like towards the end, just before we left. I hit the stop record button, go snap a picture or two, and then there's the yellow jacket's nest. They've been bad this year. I'm amazed they can get stung to death. Because it's a big enough nest, the way we got a hold of me, it would definitely not have ended well. I don't know what's the yellow jacket this year. I've never seen them this bad, I will say that. But over there behind that tree is more stones. One of the more, considering this is a 3-acre cemetery, and this little tiny bit's all you see, we've more maybe, I'm going to say maybe 1-2% of the actual cemetery. There's also supposed to be a cemetery where a house used to be here. I'll find out in the future. Got to figure out where it was. So also, I'd like to see if you can find any remains of the old town that used to be up here. Of course, me and DNA Adventures may actually see if we could hike to Sewell from this area too. Because that road, Sewell Mountain Road, used to be, well, it got known as Old Sewell Road because it was a highway back in the day, Route 1933, and did cross the New River at Sewell and kept going. But in 1904, a major flood washed away the bridge, and the bridge was never built. So, never rebuilt, I mean to say. I don't know why, considering it's an actual highway, I don't know why the state of West Virginia did not rebuild it. This is a fun fact. If they would have rebuilt it and kept the road going, would people still live in the coal camp of Sewell to this day? It would still be a ghost town like it is now, because that's what Sewell is a ghost town. Nobody lives there. However, there are people living in Thurman still. I like to point that out. Maybe I'll do some more posts on that Thurman on my Bennett Rowers of West Virginia Facebook page, pointing out that Thurman's not an actual ghost town. I was told there's 4 people living there, but I think there's actually 5 people living there. 4 or 5, I'll say, because I'm not sure which it is. Somehow my video spun like that when I was trying to wrap up the video and say this last little bit. It's weird because look at this grave thing, the back cover's gone. And apparently that's metal, which is so weird because I thought it's concrete with a hole in it. And it's hollow metal, with this very weird grave marker, I will admit. Didn't make any sense to me. Died October 1907, aged 44 years. That's no sense I haven't done any cemetery videos for a while. I figured why not do one. And yet, yes, it was miserably hot this day. I think it got to nearly 90 degrees this day that I was here. It's been an unusually hot summer, like miserably hot summer. The heat's been kind of unbearable, and I've had to walk in it. I survived mowing and weeding in the extreme heat, even though it ain't been easy. I survived it and got it done. That's the only bad thing about working for a professional lawn care landscaping company. You have to deal with the weather.